Alright, guys, we're checking out the Dragon Stick by Madkatz on this episode of Hack to Fish. Now, I'm relatively new to the bumping world about bumping for catfish, but it's very similar from what I can tell to bumping jigs for bass. And I've bumped jigs a lot for bass, football head jigs and lates and stuff. Basically, it's the same feeling. You throw out, you bump along, try not to get stuck in rocks and stuff, and you feel a hit, and you wait till the fish takes it, and then you set the hook. But in a boat, the boat's doing most. You don't have to worry about casting. The boat is doing most of the movement. So you really all you got to do is pull your rod up and down to bounce in these areas where these fish are. Maybe hit one in the head, make him mad, grab it. Maybe he's hungry, smells it, takes it. But very similar techniques, different ways of doing them. Harder hits. Now, here recently, Madkatz came out with their version of a bumping rod. And it is very similar in design to the Catfish Pro bank rod. Little improvements on the Madkatz part. But even though these rods are very similar in comparison, first looking at them, we're going to break it down and I'm going to show you how different they are and the cost of each one of them right after this. Now, like I said, at first looks, these two rods are very similar except for the color. But after you take a minute and examine them, there's a lot of differences in them. The Catfish Pro rod is more broad at the back, thicker in the handle. Now, this might be a concern to some people, but I'd say the more grip that you can get on this while you're bumping, the better it'd feel. And if you have small hands, this Catfish Pro might not be an option for you. Now, getting to the reel seat. The Catfish Pro reel seat has a plastic handle with a metal reel seat at the top pushing it down. The Madkatz is all aluminum, and you got a little brake right here. You can see it right there. You can feel the handle is not completely covered up, which is going to make it more sensitive when you're bumping. You can feel everything in that reel seat. Now getting to the grips on these two. The both foam, except the Madkatz rod has I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get this close. See them little grips in it? That is going to ensure you get a good tight handle on that when that fish hits. I mean, I can imagine an 80-pounder just grabbing it and bending it over in your hand. You're going to need all the grip you can get to hold on to that rod. Now, they both have metal guides, except the Madkatz rod has 2 more eyes than the Catfish Pro rod. And they're a little bit more narrow. The more eyes that's on this rod, the more weight's going to get distributed through your rod, because each eye takes pounds of force to bend this rod over. And if you can get less poundage on a certain eye, it will make it easier to fight the fish. Another thing that's different is these eyes are wrapped once. The Madkatz eyes are wrapped twice. Like I said, these rods are very, very similar looking wise till you start breaking it down. Now we're going to inspect how much weight and everything each one of them can carry. Now, getting to the weight that these rods can carry. Let's start with how much each one of these rods weigh. The Madkatz rod weighs 11.25 ounces. The Catfish Pro rod, even though it looks bulkier, weighs 8 ounces. Both rods are heavy action, but both rods do not carry the same lure weight. The Madkatz rod goes 1 to 8 ounces of lure weight, 2 to 8 ounces of lure weight. It's 7'6", 2 to 80-pound line, heavy action. Now, the Catfish Pro rod, I've said this before, it does not say how much lure weight the heavy action has, but me and Mike Baker, we talked a lot about it, and he said 1 to 10 ounces would be the lure weight for this rod. It is also heavy action. It's also 7'6". Now, the Catfish Pro rod, I have used it on the bank, and I love the rod. Only because I've had a lot of surgery and stuff. I like light rods that can handle a lot of weight, because it makes it easier for me to cast, because my back hurts a lot, and this gives me less pain when I fish. Now, as far as the sensitivity, I haven't got to test the sensitivity of the Madkatz rod, so I'm not going to say one's better than the other one. But from what I can tell, it seems that's going to be a very sensitive rod. You should feel everything that you bump on the bottom, and everything. A hit, swim by. It seems like a very sensitive, good quality rod. Now, we're going to break down the shipping costs and everything of these rods, and the quality compared to the cost, right after this. Now, the Madkatz rod, I found it online, and it's $109.99 plus shipping. Now, I said we would compare it to the Catfish Pro. The Catfish Pro is only $60 free shipping. But you gotta understand that this is a quality rod. This is aluminum reel seat, double wrapped eyes. The blanks are different. And even though the Catfish Pro handles more weight, 2 more ounces more weight than this, like I said, this is a better quality rod. I'm not saying that this will catch more fish than the Catfish Pro rod. I'm not saying the Catfish Pro will catch more fish than this rod. I'm just saying buy what you have confidence in. This has more eyes, better quality eyes, smaller eyes than the Catfish Pro rod. I have talked to both Mike Baker, Mac Knight. They both seem like great guys. Unbelievable customer service on both sides. Now, as far as bumping, I can't give anybody really any information on it because I've never done it. I'm more of a throw-out bank guy. But I could see both of these rods being used for either one. This is an all-around rod. You can put 6 ounces on this, some cut bait, throw it out on the bank, and it will be a good quality rod that won't be as hard on your back as a heavier rod. And it has the metal reel seat. Now, if you're like me and you're poor, and you want something that's affordable, you can go with the Catfish Pro rod. It doesn't have the aluminum reel seat. It doesn't have the double wrapped eyes. It doesn't have more guides, as many guides, as the Dragon Stick. But hopefully, I will be able to get on somebody's boat and we will be able to compare bumping this with the Madkatz Dragon Stick. That would be awesome. Because I know a guy on Facebook, he offered me to come down and do a video with the Madkatz rods. He just got some, a bunch of them. And I would like to take the Catfish Pro rod and compare it to bumping with what he's doing. Now, like I said before, I'm not saying either one will catch more fish than the other one. That's up to you. Anybody can fish. You can go and get a Walmart rod. It might not be able to cast as much weight as these rods, but that don't mean you can't fish with it. That don't mean you're not going to catch as many fish with it. I done made this YouTube channel with no BS, no backing of any company, so I could give the honest truth. This is a $60 rod. This is a $109 rod. To say this would catch more fish than this $60 rod will be foolish. Because it's all up to the angler. Now, this is not as much quality as this. So if you like quality, this is going to be your rod. And that's my perspective. Now, if you have a bumping rod on there that you want to put down below, put a comment on it. I'll check it out. Maybe get it later on, compare it to these two rods. I love telling people, do what you love and loving what you do. Until next time, this is Hack the Fish with a dragon stick. And I am